What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. If you are returning, I appreciate you so much. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Nikki Hiron, and on the channel we talk about a bunch of things. I sing a little bit, I play some saxophone, I like anime, I like vintage things. We're not going to be creatively restricted here. No, we are not. Not on my channel. My cat really wants pets right now. So the other day I was on r/musicians on Reddit, and I thought it would be fun to ask people what their weirdest gig stories were, because I have a bunch of really weird stories being just a gigging musician. So I thought it'd be fun to read Reddit's responses to what their weirdest gig story was. So I will start with mine. I have quite a bit. So I was playing in a band, a jam band. This is actually where I met my boyfriend, but at the time I was still pretty young. I think I was actually 19. I was up there singing, doing my thing, and this was kind of the first set of gigs I've ever had. So there was a lot of experiences I never had before. So my dad was actually there with my uncle, and there was this lady that was just like making out with everybody, I guess. She was like flirting with my uncle and like just got weird. And we take a break, and I go back up to sing, and this girl kind of comes up to me like she wants to give me a hug. And so, you know, I'm nice, I'm receptive, and I was like, okay, whatever, maybe she's drunk, I sang a song she loved, whatever, like, hug the singer, I don't care. And this is before COVID. So she goes to hug me, and then she turns her head, and straight up, no joke, trying to make out with me. And I was so disgusted, and it freaked me out, and the rest of the night I felt really grossed out and weird, and my drummer got up and was like, dude, she's like 17, and she got kicked out of the bar that night. But yeah, so let's read Reddit's weirdest gig stories. I will also put these on the screen so you guys can read them with me, but I once was asked to throw together a band to play an event that the booked band dropped out of. The girl putting on the show told me that she didn't care what kind of music, just something. She was putting on some kind of event with music and art. Well, I was currently playing guitar in an old-time fiddle music band. Me, fiddle, upright bass, and a washboard. She said, yeah, whatever sounds good, we'll pay you $300. Nice. So, we show up at the fanciest cocktail bar in Cleveland. No beer, only $25 cocktails. Everyone dressed to the nines. I'm in jeans and a t-shirt, along with everyone else in the band. Washboard guy had mustard stains on his shirt. It's pretty clear that we're totally out of place. There was an MC. He asked us what the name of our band was, and we just had to tell him we don't have one. We just drink some beers and play old fiddle tunes. He introduced us as the band with no name. That's funny. It's like the horse with no name, that song. So we got up there and did it. It actually went over fine. People enjoyed it. A few people appreciated the break from the pretentiousness. Right after us was a fashion show. There was some guy and girl wearing plastic wrap and some hideous dresses. It's funny how like sometimes people just don't realize what they're hiring, but honestly I like that it went over well because it probably was fun and like the juxtaposition of it. And I feel like that's what's so cool about live music, is that there is like this, I guess, gap of like where music can be enjoyed by everybody. So that's awesome. I played a really big gig one Halloween. This girl and I were talking, and I didn't think anything of it, but she kept bringing up that it was the anniversary of her losing her virginity. I finally figured out what that meant. We celebrated. Was living in Los Angeles. Got hired for a private party out of town. Solo. I drove to California City. If you don't know anything about that place, look it up. It's wild. I'll have to. I got to the venue, which was a small privately owned hotel. I had my own room for the night. The front desk told me where to set up in the hotel bar and paid me up front too. No one was at the bar, and I set up, sound checked, and hung out. Then my set started at 7. No one was there, like not even the bartender. Around 7:30, a dozen businessmen from China came in and sat down. They didn't speak. They didn't engage with me. They didn't even engage with each other. They had drinks. But I'm not even sure where they got them. I played until 10 for these dudes, and they got up and just left. I packed up and realized no one was there, not even at the front desk anymore. I was like, yeah, fuck this, and drove home. I'm pretty sure I was at a murder cult or something, and I'm so glad I didn't spend the night. So strange. So this one really got me. This was really funny. I played at a Shalotsky's once. So, like, they did this spin-off type restaurant called Shalotsky's Austin Eatery, where it was the same thing as a Shalotsky's, except they also served beer. It would have been way cooler if they had just called it Austin Eatery, but it wasn't like that. It was more like Shalotsky's in big letters than Austin Eatery small. So already kind of a bad start in my opinion, because no way me and the boys are meeting up at a Shalotsky's for some beers. Straight up, half the building was a SunTrust bank, and the other half was a Shalotsky's. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but I guess they wanted to make it cool so people would come drink more beer. So they hired a duo, keys, guitar for 3 hours. It paid well and wasn't a long drive, so we took it. First hour, we played some stuff. A few people came in, ordered sandwiches, and left. Nobody came for beer. Imagine playing at a Subway while people are ordering sandwiches to go. Yeah, that was the vibe. At the first hour or so, people stopped coming in. Straight up, the restaurant was empty. So after a while of 0 people, I look at my guitar player and I'm like, hey, instead of wasting all of our good songs, why don't we just play over at least the 12-bar blues and trade solos so we can at least get some good practice in. Been there. The practice gigs, sometimes the best and most fun ones. If anyone comes in, we'll just wrap it up and play our best ones. Nobody's there, so who will care, right? So that's what we did, and still, nobody came in. But we traded solos on this 12-bar blues for almost an hour straight without stopping. Same 3 chords for an hour. It was every bit of the practice we had hoped for. It was actually a really productive exercise for us to tighten up as a duo. So we get done playing after almost a full hour of this. Nobody ever came in. Gig's over. He starts winding cables and I go find the bathroom. I turn the corner. There is one dude on a laptop with an empty tray and an empty beer glass. He was there the whole time. This poor guy just came in to catch up on some work and drink a beer, and he had to sit there and listen to the same 3 chords for an hour straight at a Shalotsky's on a Friday night. He looked really exhausted. Anyways, I played at a Shalotsky's once. So my first band only played in the same places in our city, Rio. We sounded like a bad version of Oasis, only original songs and maybe one cover. Anyways, to the same plus 25 friends and fans. Then we got invited to play in a small city event. I think the story about how we got this gig was that this friend of the guitar player was the son of a city councilman. And in a meeting where they were making this skate event and needed a rock band, and so he said he knew one. Just said he knew one, and that was it. It was like one of those things where it's like, oh, I know a rock band. Anyway. We all traveled to this small countryside city, just beautiful, called Duras Paras. There was this stage that was really big compared to the small pubs where we almost couldn't move on stage. The first thing we did was make sure we could use their cables because ours were small. We had free water bottles and I think 5 beers each. That with the weed hit really great when we noticed that started happening this Miss Rad Girl contest. We also had free dinner, and it was literally the biggest place I was ever served. Lots and lots of food I couldn't finish. Then, in a minute, we finished eating. They called us upstage. We really were scared because we thought we didn't match the event at all. But it was the moment we started playing that we learned that skaters are the best audience. Later, we found out that a lot of them started following us on social media. Edit. I remember there were skaters skating, tired, during the concert. And they always stopped to clap at the end of the songs. It was just beautiful. That's awesome. I feel like some people just don't care. So it's nice to have an audience that really cares. We were paid 50 reais, maybe $20, and it was the biggest payment we had ever got by playing. I remember we were getting the van back. They paid that too. Just thrilled and already with plans for those new songs we were making. We were changing and making songs that I love and know they are good to this day. Turned out that was our last concert together. 2 months later, while I was calling one bandmate to tell the other bandmate told me that he quit because his girlfriend was pregnant, he replied, fuck. I was just with the drummer, and he told me he was going to move out of state. I'm not sure about the date, but I'm 100% sure it was something between 15th of November and 15th of December 2013, 10 years ago. I once did a jam at a cannabis festival with Sister Mary Jane, a pot-smoking nun who played the ukulele. So I actually played at a weed bar once, and I couldn't say anything because I wasn't 21 yet. And it was really awkward, and no one cared, and everyone was just in the corner like this. I live in Colorado, so. A girl dressed up like a clown tried to pick me up after our set. It was not Halloween, nor was there any reason to be dressed like a clown. I assume it's like furries, but clowns instead really threw me off for a second. Someone said, did you go for it? And then they said, LOL, I did not. But this is what got me. Man, you gotta get that clissy next time. My band played at a Hot Topic at the local mall. Rocked it. Had a small crowd in and out of the store. Played about 30 minutes or so. The mall manager came in and very politely told us that we were too loud. It's like, why did you hire them then? I hate when that happens. Gave us one more song, then shut us down. Went and played a decent show later that night. Fun time. Someone said, WTF, either we were in the same band or I coincidentally had this happen to me in OC back in 2007. They said this was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, probably like '09. The drummer went in for sunglasses randomly, and there was a sign that said, in a band, play here. He came to practice that afternoon and was like, I got us a gig. You could tell the store was expecting like guitar, vocal, single amp artist. We came in full drums, bass, keys, and my buddy brought his big Marshall guitar rig. Someone said, so interesting, fun, we had the similar experience. It was a fun show until we got shut down. Must have been a corporate attempt to get the malls to stop collapsing, yeah. I once booked a gig at a venue in my city only to discover that there was a venue of the same name in a... Oh my gosh. I once booked a gig at a venue in my city only to discover that there was a venue of the same name in a city of the same name in a different country when I showed up to play. I was booked at that one. That's crazy. My alt-rock band circa 2010 covered Colt 45 by Afroman. We played a dive that was one of the primary music bars in the city that we lived in at the time. My mom showed up randomly, and then my girlfriend, now wife, was there. Not one, not two, but 3 ex-girlfriends just so also happened to be there. Every then recent long-term relationship ex I'd had. So I sang Colt 45 by Afroman in a dive-packed bar with just shy of 100 people, with all of those people in attendance. I've had better gigs, don't know about funnier though. I think that was the same one where we ended up pretending to start playing 99 Red Balloons, and the other guitarist dropped his guitar and walked out the fire exit behind us, followed by the drummer who threw his sticks, followed by the bass player who unplugged me from the amp. I chased after yelling, guys, with the cable trailing behind me. We walked back through the front door, through the crowd to pack up, and everyone was still laughing. Wait, was it a joke? At a wedding gig this past summer, we were asked to stop playing mid-set so they could put some song on that we didn't know. They had a little karaoke thing used to play music after we stopped, so I'm not sure why it had to happen right then. Played a dive bar, and there was a weird group of people that looked like father, son, and grandma. Of the 3, the son was the most tame. Father repeatedly yells, CCR in a heavy man accent at us in between every song. At least it wasn't Freebird. Despite the fact that we play literally nothing like classic rock. Dude, I had somebody ask to play like a super complicated, I can't remember what, it was like a Metallica song, but it was a weird request. I play in a duo with my boyfriend, so it's like, I sing jazz-ish pop. I mean, we do some rock songs, but anyway. Very drunk grandma climbs on stage in front of the lead guitar to get to the singer, and her hair gets caught in the string ends of the guitar. He pulls back, ripping her hair out, which he didn't realize until he found it dangling there after we finished playing. Consistently got booked with pretty good pay at a bar restaurant, playing for an average of 10 people, including us and the staff. Guy throws up in the middle of the dance floor, basically right after we started playing. Everyone moves away from the spot, obviously. Bouncer comes out with a broom and dustpan. Everyone groans. He says someone has to do it. Throw soapy water on it. Outside gig. Bar starts to fill out, and everyone dances on soapy vomit water dance floor. Slow night at a generally very busy bar. Very drunk girl starts grinding hard on her dance partner. I eventually grab the mic and say, someone get her a pregnancy test, just before the last call. Apparently this embarrassed her to the point that the bartender told me about it, and I found her crying outside the bar when I went out for a smoke. Not sure if I should feel bad about that one. My very first vocal lead in a show was supposed to be in front of a wildly famous musical artist. Last song of the set, I was ready and so pumped for it. Band leader got drunk before the show. We started playing 30 minutes late trying to find him. Found him on the dance floor making out with some person, put him on stage. The first few go okay, but he was not at his best. And then his vocal lead comes up just before mine. It was a fucking arrhythmic atonal mess. The house shut down our PA and removed us from the stage 40 seconds before I got my song. That sucked. Alright guys, well I hope that was fun for you and funny. If you have any weird gig stories, go ahead and leave those in the comments. I actually realized I have one more and it's related to Aaron Carter, but I need to make sure that my boyfriend is okay with me telling the story, and it's also just sad like what happened to him, so I just like want to make sure it's, you know. So yeah, those are all the stories that Redditors decided to respond to me in the musician subreddit. and I hope that was fun for you guys. So if you enjoyed that and you want to support me to continue making these videos and continue ideating and putting things out there, it keeps me inspired and keeps me motivated. It would be cool if you would subscribe, because that would be cool, and I would like more subscribers because I don't want to be talking to nobody. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, great night, and a great gig if you have a gig coming up. And I appreciate you being here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!